Hey, what's going on today? Today we're going to be discussing electric air handlers. Let's have fun getting into it. First, we have an electric air handler. Learning to have fun working on your own air handler. Now, you can benefit a lot from this if you have a bad transformer, bad fuse, whatever, and your whole system's down. That will help you in the long run. What is an air handler? We'll discuss what an air handler actually looks like. Air handler disconnect. We have to make sure you turn off the power. Make sure you have power to your air handler. Low voltage terminal board. We'll discuss a low voltage terminal board coming from your transformer and your air handler, and also it'll be going out to your outside unit. Squirrel cage with motor. I'll show you the squirrel cage and everything that's attached to the transformer. It usually is a 220 volts to a 24 volt step down. Okay, let's get into the air handler unit. Oh, not that kind. There it is. We've got an air handler unit, squirrel cage and motor, terminal board, and evaporator coil. First of all, this whole complete assembly is your air handler unit. Your squirrel cage is situated above the evaporator coil. Your motor is right here inside is your squirrel cage. It looks like a regular squirrel cage, but it's a forced air furnace. Your terminal board is right here. When in cooling mode, this will energize your fan motor. Sometimes you have a delay, and it also energizes your outdoor unit, which this is your suction line, and this is your liquid line. The suction line goes back out to the unit. Your liquid line comes from the unit and gets distributed to a low pressure gas through your evaporator coil. Right here we've got a filter system. Here we show insulation throughout the unit. Also over here. When in the heat mode, your heat strips will come on, or if this is a heat pump, your heat pump will come on, and if it's a W2, your heat strips will come on if it's too cold in the house and it calls for more heat than the heat pump can actually handle. If the heat pump outside freezes up, it'll shut off and energize W2, which bring on your heat strip. And the reversing valve, it'll go back into air conditioning mode and defrost your condensing unit outside. This is the inside look of your evaporator coil, your A coil. Some of them are slant coils or some are A coils. This application, this is called an A coil. Here we have a non-fused air handler disconnect. A non-fused air handler disconnect is usually a 220 volt disconnect. We have your black, white, and your ground. Your ground doesn't have to be insulated like your 220 volts does. So from the breaker box, and your black goes to this side, which is your line in, and your white is your line in out to the air handling unit, your load, L1 and L2 of your load. In this particular illustration, this one is insulated. It goes to the ground, which in turn goes to the ground back to your breaker box. This is your typical step-down transformer. This one, I believe, is 120 volt to a 24 volts on this side. Your 120 or 220 volts is wired up on this side, and it steps down the voltage to 24 volts AC. And you would put your red and your white wires on there going to your air handler unit. Your 24 volts would come off of your air handling unit. And if you have 220 volts coming to your air handling unit and you don't have any voltage from your 24 volt, then your transformer, or you might have a fuse bad in your transformer. You might want to check that out. That's all I got for today. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you on the next video.